I want to get out so bad, you know. Everybody's nice, like I said, you know, the Red Cross, FEMA, they're all nice, but there's nothing like home sweet home.
Yvonne Valdez is one of 7 people left at the St. Joseph's Church in Athens Township in Bradford County, Pennsylvania. This is the last remaining Red Cross shelter open in the Twin Tiers. Across the area, there are pockets of displaced flood victims who are anxiously waiting to get home.
Now, during Hurricane Irene and Tropical Storm Ree, the Red Cross has opened 110 shelters or evacuation centers. It has housed more than 13,000 for overnight stays and has served more than 165,000 meals. More than 4,100 Red Cross workers and volunteers have been deployed. Whether it's shelters or in mobile units, they've been distributing food, cleanup, and comfort kits. They're making contacts for any health or mental health needs. And as Action News reporter Jenna Hanchard tells us, for those still not home, leaning on another helps too.
Every day is like a roll of dice for Linda Brown and Diane Crampton.
I feel like this is a bad dream. Don't know what's going to happen next. We just want to go home.
Never did I think it was going to be us, but the reality is it's us, and we're displaced.
Displaced from the flood-damaged Binghamton Housing Authority high-rise, the first move was to the Binghamton University Event Center.
I had shoved my medication in my purse, went to SUNY with only the clothes I had on, and I slept on the floor.
Now the women are roommates at the YWCA within arm's reach of where they once called home.
I'm kind of sad that I can't be home now, but there's nothing we can do.
It's a full house at the YWCA. 100 women were already living there when the shelter took in about 30 more women displaced from the flood.
We knew that they were traumatized from having lost their homes and not knowing if they had a place to go back to. So the first concern was to make sure they had a bed, comfortable place, food, and clothing.
Linda and Diane keep their spirits up by sticking together.
We get along good. We talk to each other. I trust her with everything.
We play Yahtzee. I brought my games over from my place.
But as each day passes, the one question remains.
Are we going to go back home? And how long is it going to take to get back home?
Until then,
you got to keep your chin up and make the best of it.
In Binghamton, Jenna Hanchard, Wbng TV Action News.
Yahtzee. I got that.
Well, there are more than 500 people in Binghamton alone, people just like Linda and Diane, waiting to return to a place that they call home. Our Greg Catlin is standing by at a FEMA Disaster Recovery Center in Binghamton. He's with one local leader to talk about a housing crunch for flood evacuees.
I'm here live at the Broome County Library in downtown Binghamton, which is home to a disaster recovery center from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, one of several in the area. Joining us now to talk a little bit is the City of Binghamton's Director of Housing, Planning, and Community Development, Tarek Abdelazim. And let me ask you right off the bat, the message you want people to take away tonight.
I think the most important thing that we're trying to inform all residents is to make sure that they are notifying FEMA of both their needs and their resources when it comes to housing. There's the FEMA helpline, and that will be showed later in the broadcast. We want landlords to contact FEMA helpline to make sure that we can have their available units listed in an online housing database. That gives us an accurate viewpoint of what the inventory is. But we also want renters and homeowners that were displaced by the flood to call the helpline, regardless if they're couch surfing with family or friends, whether they think it's going to be 1 week or 3 weeks. If they've already received assistance, let them know if their situation has changed so we can plan accurately for the coming weeks and months ahead.
All right. Now, I know in the city of Binghamton alone, more than 2,100 properties were sustained some kind of damage, and more than 300 classified as major. It was a lot of damage in the city, more so than 2006.
It absolutely was. I mean, we had 2 flooding events in 2006, the summer flood and then the flash flood in November. This September event was literally a combination of the two, so the damage was severe. What we really are looking for is that now that as we're assessing the displacement, is we're looking to NISAG that's providing us weekly updates. We still have 350 electric services that are disconnected in the city and over 700 gas meters that are disconnected. So there's still an incredible amount of need, but we need to make sure that's being communicated to FEMA so again we could accurately plan.
And you've got several hundred still displaced from some of the public housing units in the area, and it may take as the city has said, maybe even till spring to get everybody back home.
That's absolutely true. There were neighborhoods hit with a lot of single-family homes, but there were also 3 large housing complexes in the downtown center that accommodate our most vulnerable populations. And between those 3 properties alone, it's about 500 individuals that remain displaced. And we're doing our best and working with those property managers, working with CMO state officials, federal officials, and the county officials to do everything to accelerate those timelines. But it still may be another month or 2 before they come back online.
A lot of help is still needed. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it. And I want to let everybody know we'll be here again in the next half hour talking with an official from FEMA about what is ahead. I'm Greg Catlin, live in downtown Binghamton.
Thank you, Greg. And next we will provide some numbers that you can call if you still need housing assistance or perhaps some legal aid with housing issues.
And still to come, how Tioga County continues facing trying times. Stay with us.